ARGs have always been a great interest of me. I've always just loved watching those video essays that dive right into the dirt and the deets, but I've never been around to actually catch an ARG. I normally just have to watch the summary after it's ended. So when I saw this video titled Pit in my recommendations, I felt like I needed to click on it. Something was making me click on it, and then I went down a rabbit hole. We start with Pit, a very short video that just shows a scout lying on the floor of a pit. We then also see an engineer fall into this pit. Assume that these guys are dead. They're probably dead. The next video is called Pyro's Kitchen, which seems to be just a simple machinima of Pyro making stuff in a kitchen. We see him drink from a mug and smash it, and then later make a hot dog and eat it. The first two videos are very simple. However, Thanks for 30 subs is where everything turns on its head a wee bit. While the video is kind of short and simple and sweet, and just is for thanking for 30 subs, we get hints of something further when we see the text "help me" flash on the screen, accompanied by eyes just staring. And the video thankyou.mp3, which is like a follow-up to this, kinda is the same, where we see this glimpse of a screenshot of Spy2012, but he's red and he's spooky and he's scary, and I think that alludes that something deeper is going on within this channel. In Engineer's TV Broke, we see Engineer, shocker, standing, just kind of chilling like a villain. We then see like a corrupted scout destroying Engineer's TV. Now at first I thought, oh, maybe that's just like a funny little detail, until we see the engineer and the scout, who now both look like this. We know the engineer wasn't like this before, which alludes that the scout is capable of corrupting, and so it kind of shows that like there's an infection going on in the Spy 2012 universe. TF2 characters are getting corrupted. Now it also might mean that the ones in the pit are the ones who get corrupted, because we see an engineer and we also see a scout in both of those videos, and that maybe alludes that if you're corrupted you get thrown in a pit, or when you're in the pit you get corrupted. Testing shows Spy 2012 just like testing on this zombie while he's screaming for help. It's really disturbing. I'll just play a bit from the video. The description of the video says punishment, suggesting whatever Spy 2012 is doing to this zombie, this person, it's justified and they've done something against Spy 2012. They've misbehaved, I guess, in some way. There's also Morse code in the description that says, "We have a NMIE mad GM," which makes no sense and could just be a possible error from Spy 2012. I have no idea what this means. I tried to figure it out, but I have no clue what that is trying to say, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Spy's mission is another machinima. From the video, it seems like a corrupted engineer is trying to corrupt the spy. However, the spy disguises himself as a medic and then shoots the corruption. In the description is a Steam account, Spy2011, and in the description of account it says God in binary, and the only comment says, "Of the kings, for when he came they all fell into darkness." I think this quote could be in reference to Pit. Also on the account is a screenshot with the caption "something wrong," although I can't really make out what's going on. I see an engineer. I think maybe the body on the floor is a corrupted one, and that's why something's wrong. Now I'm gonna skip the video ranting about Half-Life, as I don't think this has any value to the lore and I really couldn't find anything important inside the video, so I'm just gonna skip it. There Is No Escape is the next video, and it opens up with someone being dragged, which I think could possibly be the zombie that we saw in the testing video. Spy 2012 looks at us and then he walks away, and the video cuts and he's standing right in front of us. We quite clearly see a person behind him as well, sitting on another testing chair. Spy 2012 says,
"If you comply, you won't end up like your friend."
Then the person behind him disappears.
You are dead!
The description also has hexadecimal text that says "Our Savior is not coming," which could be a cry of help from the test subjects that Spy 2012 is testing on. The video 2013 shows Spy 2012 telling the POP to not misbehave and that we will give us one more chance. We also hear a lady in the background read numbers 2, 7, 9, 6, 6, 4, 6, spy20, and then spy walks away. I couldn't find what those numbers were for, so I think they're probably going to be used in a later date, but right now not all the videos are out. German text in the description reads, "Our God will not save us, he will not save us from himself," which could suggest that spy2012 is a god, or at least makes the test subjects believe he is one, as God can't help them because God is doing the things to them. This is also supported from the Steam account, which said God in binary, basically showing that Spy thinks of himself as a god. The next video shows the person from the background of testing, and then the camera cuts closer to them, and then it's implied that the person is killed by Spy because of the title Death and the fact that they were referenced as misbehaving and not complying. 20-3-2115-33-17 shows someone running to the testing table and trying to interact with things. The radio doesn't work, and then they try to pick up this like saber-toothed tiger fang and then throw it by accident. They then take a wrench and run out the building, escaping because obviously they made a commotion and they're trying to escape Spy, I'm guessing. When I looked up the video's title, I got a lot of biblical responses, one being from the book of John, which details Jesus' resurrection, but then I realized that the title is probably a date and time, which is the 20th of March 2021 at 3:33 p.m. It would make sense for the date to be written like this, as it is clearly set in Germany or has ties to Germany, which is how they write their days. They do day first, month, then year. Metro shows spy2012 telling off someone before shooting them and dragging their body away. At the very end, this code flashes up, but when I reverse image searched the code, I didn't find any translators, so I don't really know what it says.
Dunkelheit.
Dunkelheit, or darkness in English, is very hard to make out. We can hear screaming in the background, and I think we can also see spy2012 walking in this clip. At the end of the video, a similar code to the last one is shown, but still we cannot decipher it yet. The next video, crawling, provides little purpose and really doesn't mean anything. However, it gives us half of a translator, so we can now kind of solve what they said. The first one says, "You won't find why Artia." Yeah, I couldn't solve this one. I had no clue what this meant. But the second one I got, and it says "Fear the Combine," which obviously alludes to spy2012 since he's a Combine. "You can't help us," or in German,
Du kannst uns nicht helfen.
shows a zombie of some sort standing between pillars before walking into darkness. And then a light starts shining, and then we see a figure, but it's kind of hard to make out and I don't know what it is. The description reads, "I made you." 2014 is a really weird video that shows a really pixely world. However, a new code is given to us which says, "It's following me," or maybe it's a "they, I need to hide." And I think that just means that spy2012 is hunting people, or it could be in relation to the corruption. The corruption is following them, and that's why they don't know if it's a "it" or a "they," because it could be a group of corrupted or it could be one corrupted. "We will never find peace" is the next video, or in German,
Wir werden niemals Frieden finden.
shows what seems to be an abandoned building. We are also given a code and shown a picture of Walter Breen from Half-Life on this sort of robot machine, although we can't solve this code yet as it's a different one from the one that we know and love. And that's all the videos on spy2012. However, if we take a stroll to the community page, we find a link to another channel, GMOD Cool Player, which gives us 3 new videos. Now I'm not even going to try to read the title for this video, but this video gives us the decoder to the Walter Breen code, and it says Breen is dead, which I think you can kind of just make out anyway. It just kind of looks like English writing, so I kind of thought it said that anyway, but now we have confirmation. A new code is shown at the end of the video, however it's too pixely to make out and I can't really tell what it says. Using the cipher @bash, I decoded that the title says "He did this to me," which I think is a message from Breen telling us what spy2012 did to him and turned him into this robot, endoskeleton, FNAF type thing. GMOD Lockdown just seems to show a prison in lockdown, however we do see a man sitting on a chair that could be similar to the testing one, maybe showing that spy2012 is imagining it, and although it's not a Combine sitting in the chair, it could be spy2012 sitting in that chair imagining what life is like, and maybe he's like a Patrick Bateman, Tyler Durden psychopath, and he imagines himself doing these actions to people.
You're not your fucking khakis.
Things I've seen on GMOD Big City seems to be sort of like a list, one of those like old ranking videos that you used to watch in 2012, which I guess is fitting for this ARG, and it shows the creepy things this user's seen on Big City. Although the video is quite glitchy to make out, we see a person who I think screams "Help us, we are bleeding out," although I can't really be certain. And that is Spy2012 as a whole. There is some screenshots on the community page, but I don't know how to fit them in, so I'll just show them all now. The only one that stands out to me is this corrupted civilian, which shows that the corruption isn't just limited to TF2 characters. So here is an overview of the story, because that was a lot of information just thrown at you, and I did it in chronological order, but that doesn't mean the story is in chronological order. Spy2012 views himself as a god and a creator. He uses ragdolls, who I think might actually be people. I don't think they're ragdolls, I think they're people inside the ragdolls, and he uses them to make stories, but somehow a corruption begins and an infection starts, so he discards them into a pit and begins testing on people, molding them into what he wants. I believe that Breen maybe opposed what Spy2012 was doing, and that's how Breen ended up the way he did. I think the codes throughout the videos are warnings and messages from other people. Maybe the same person, but we don't really know since we've not met a main character yet. Now, the warnings would make sense since one of them is literally fear the Combine, and that's exactly what Spy2012 is, a Combine soldier. Now, I don't know if that means that this is set in the Half-Life 2 world or the GMOD world. It's kind of hard to tell. There's references to Half-Life like Breen, but it's also clearly GMOD because we have characters from TF2 getting dragged around by gravity guns. The German text also seems to be from one of the spy's test subjects, with text like "You can't help us" and "Our savior is not coming," which kind of shows what they're thinking and what they're kind of begging to be let out. The Spy2012 ARG is still ongoing, and if big leaps are made into the story, I would love to cover it again because I had so much fun just like doing everything by myself. I loved it. It was so fun. It's the longest I think I've worked on a video, but it was just so fun. I had so much fun doing it, trying to figure out what the ciphers meant. I researched so many ciphers for this video, and I would come up with nothing. And I just remember the relief when I found out what the @bash cipher was, and I just stuck that code in randomly, and I got the answer, and it was great. I was so tired. I was so sleep deprived, but I did it myself, and it was great. This is also my first ever video essay, so I know it's not going to be amazing and high quality standard like Gochi's video essays, who you should check out if you haven't already, although I'm almost certain everyone who watches me also watches Gochi's. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.